Hello Libra, it's Jen with Bohemian Path Tarot, and we've got another tarot reading for you with the Light Seers Tarot deck. I'm going to go ahead and give her a great shuffle for you, and I'll meet you on the other side of the shuffle for your reading. Okay, Libra, let's see what's going on. We start with Justice. Okay. The Empress. Wow. Two major arcana. The Hermit. There's three major arcana. And the Knight of Swords reversed. Okay. So we're coming in with the Knight of Swords reversed. Let's get ourselves situated here. The Knight of Swords. So I see knights as the actions we need to take, or we can take, or we feel inspired to take. And knights can sometimes be a little bombastic when they're in the reversed position. So it may be that you recently said something that was misconstrued, or said something that somebody received a little harshly. Maybe you didn't mean it harshly, but somebody received it harshly. Maybe you said something that you said you felt was the truth, or meant to be illuminating, but was received very, very bluntly. And typically, Libra, you're a very diplomatic person, and it seems like perhaps a recent communication was not as diplomatic as you typically are. So we're seeing upcoming in these upcoming cards here a moment to be maybe a little more diplomatic, or to maybe fine tune your message so it lands with a better reception here. That's not to say you have to lie, or you have to take back your truth, or you have to pretend something isn't, you know, isn't that you don't have to pretend you're something you're not, or take back anything you said. It's just about fine tuning your message. And it could also be that perhaps you went into a situation with an assumption about someone else's position, and started sharing your opinions with misinformation, or with a partial sense of an idea. And now maybe you have to backtrack because further information has proven that maybe you were misinformed, or only had half of the story, or half of the information, or something. So the Knight of Swords in this kind of opening position shows us in the energy of perhaps needing to kind of fix a communication that was maybe came too soon, before the full story was out, or that was not presented in a fully conscious, diplomatic way. And that's okay. You totally have the skill set to make amends, or without anybody losing any ground, or without losing any friendships, or any jobs, or any clients, or anything like that. This can be fixed. And we see that very clearly in this next card here, Justice. Justice is all about fairness and balance, and karma, right? And making sure we read the fine print, and we understand what we bring to a partnership, what we bring to a job, what we bring to a contract, making sure we get what we think we're getting out of a contract, that we know what our role is, we know what we're getting in response or in recompense, making sure that there's fairness and balance. So whether this is in response to a job or a rental property or a mortgage, any sort of a contract. This could also be getting out of a contract, like a divorce, child support, alimony, that sort of a thing. When we're breaking a contract or breaking a lease, making sure we understand the terms of that. And that could be where this misunderstanding or miscommunication happened, where perhaps we did not understand the terms or the offer being presented. Just making sure once we understand all of the terms, read all of the fine print, then maybe we can see that the deal is fair, or make a counter offer that is fair or fairly represents our position. I think you know fairness is achievable in this situation, whatever brought this kind of sort of confusion or very spirited communication about. Let's see. Fairness is achievable. We just need to make sure that we are understanding the terms and communicating fairly. Now, the next card we have here is the Empress. She is obviously the mama of the tarot. She is all about fertility, but not just, in terms of making babies, but also fertility in terms of ideas, fertility in terms of creating a safe space for learning, for growing anything, literally like plants, like knowledge, any sorts of crafts, anything of that nature. I'm feeling very much a sense of feeling safe here. And this could go along, I think for some of you, this could go along with this contract, child support, making sure there's safety here. This could be, making sure there's a safe home, making sure that your children are protected, or that you're safe in your next environment. That could very much be the thing. For some of you, it may be about creative endeavors. This could be a creative contract, making sure, especially for artists, that you have a safe space to create, that your ideas are safe, and that you're getting fair recompense for your ideas, for your creations. That could be that sort of space. And that would be echoed for you creative types in this idea with the Hermit. I find the Hermit comes up a lot for editors, for writers and editors. Writers, especially when you're in that place where you're negotiating with editors, or literal editors when you're going through and negotiating with writers. This is that part where you're kind of getting clear on clarifying what the book is about, what the main concepts, what is important to highlight, to make sure stays in the book, how to clarify ideas, how to make sure. I mean, this is not my area of expertise, but I'm sure any actual editors understand what I'm getting at. That thing where you make sure that the salient points, the main point of a book, the themes are present, and getting rid of the detritus or the overwritten parts, right? The Hermit card is also the piece, for those of us who aren't writers, the Hermit card is also about getting clear on our own wisdom we go through life and we have life experiences that are outside of things we can learn from gurus, things we can learn from books, things we can learn from our parents, things we can learn from our teachers, or we have life experiences that allow us to evolve if we give these experiences the space to bloom within. I don't know if any of you are bakers, but when you add yeast to when you're making bread and you add yeast, you need to give yeast a little space and a little warmth to bloom. And then it can grow exponentially. The hermit is kind of like that process where it blooms. Or if you use like gelatin, you have to give gelatin a little space to kind of a moment to bloom. There's like experiences that we have, and then upon reflection, it can just, you have this epiphany, and then it becomes this solid base, this wisdom that we then carry, and becomes not only a touchstone for ourselves, but we can use it as a beacon for other people. So especially following this mama card, where she's got this little. I apologize for my table. I don't know if you can hear this, but my table is weirdly squeaking today, so I apologize if you can hear that. But in this mama card, she's carrying a little something within that is growing within her. And the hermit kind of does the same thing with this wisdom that is growing within her, and becomes this not only this, like I said, this touchstone for herself, but a beacon for others, something that she can share with others. Like for the mama or the creative person is about to share something that becomes of the world. So does the hermit. So in any case, Libra, the fact that you have 3 major arcana cards here indicates that this is a significant time. So even though we're coming out of a moment where maybe it feels like a faux pas or a misunderstanding or something that needs a bit of a fix or an apology or a backtrack, this could even be the return of somebody who has an apology for you, something you have to revisit. As I record this, it's we're about to go into Mercury retrograde, so I always find somebody, usually an ex, comes back with an apology, and there can be a time to revisit something. Sometimes it can be a job, but usually it's like an ex or an ex-friend comes back with an apology, or some other opportunity to fix something that maybe was left unsaid or unresolved. And, if there is an opportunity to clear the air, to finish a sentence, to uncover a mystery, or to resolve something that, like if there's new evidence that is brought to light, kind of like in those court cases, like you can't, like when it comes to like an appeals or like in a court case, you can't overturn a conviction or bring an appeal. I'm not a lawyer, but in American justice, you can't like reopen a case or issue an appeal in certain situations unless there's new evidence. So if an ex comes back, unless new evidence comes to light, there might be a good reason why somebody left your life. But if new evidence comes to light, if there's an apology and somebody has really done work on themselves, or you've really done work on yourself, or you realize that you had made an assumption, or they realized they made an assumption, and this new evidence resolves something or opens up a new a legitimate new conversation that might be worth exploring, then absolutely. But sometimes when someone returns from the past, it's an opportunity to say, you know what? I learned my lesson. I have learned my lesson. I have reflected. I have gained the wisdom from that situation. And I know that situation is not for me. Thank you. Next. So, in any case, Libra, this looks like a really significant chapter, a really significant time to review the evidence, read the fine print, make sure everything is fair and fairly represented, make space for creation and creative endeavors, to trust your wisdom and use your wisdom not only for yourself, but as a beacon for others. I hope you find that inspiring, Libra. I hope that gives you some options or some clarity. In any case, thank you so much for dropping by, Libra. Until next time, take good care of yourself. Bye for now.